I will leave it to you, Aigis, because I'm not leaving it to me because I'm terrible. Aigis, you're carrying the team. Hopefully you won't wait for me to tell you to win. Oh, that was I was like, who's calling me?
I'm sorry. I had turned off my consciousness to test the new equipment installed on me.
If you turn off the consciousness, how do you ever know to come back? What if the equipment fails? Do you just stay off forever?
Yes, that's why we use the emergency channel. We've been asked to go into action.
Is that Akihiko? That sounds like Akihiko, but it shouldn't be.
Has something happened? Who sent the request?
We'll brief you on the details in transit.
No, that's definitely not Akihiko.
Also, regulations say that the member with the lowest serial number is in command. Currently, that's you.
Wait, lowest... This must be a long time ago.
In command? Are you sure about this? After all,
You're well suited for it, in my opinion.
Understood.
It actually does sound a little bit like you, you're right, but it certainly shouldn't be. And no, I don't know anything about a New Game Plus boss anything, because this is blind, and I've only gotten through Aigis. Oh, I didn't read that. Men equipped with assault suits and tactical vests line the concrete ground. Their urban camouflage and unmoving poses give them an appearance of orderly line of rocks. 30 minutes have already passed since the special assault team took up positions near the passenger plane, stopping on the landing strip. Oh, by the way, I do want to mention for the future, for anyone that's watching this on YouTube or whatever, and I really hope this is also recording on my hard drive. I told it to. In case you're wondering why I keep talking to things and you have no idea what I'm talking about, it's because this is being played on Twitch TV, because this is recorded during a time where YouTube is saying that I can't record this, even though it's fair use. So once this gets worked out, I will be uploading it to YouTube, but until then, well, this is where we are. Their captain glares at passenger plane before he slowly turns around and looks at each of his men. Every last one wears ski masks and thick tactical vests. Ski masks? I hope you mean like visors or something. Do we have like a assault squad of Voorheeses here?
Tell me about the situation and make it quick. We don't have much time.
Yeah, that is not a ski mask, Aigis. One of the team steps forward next to him. The touchscreen tablet on his right hand has a summary of the case on it. On May 1st, 2012, around 900 hours, a wide-body passenger aircraft headed for Kagoshima sent out a 7500 squawk code during passenger boarding. Following the signal, the captain reported to the control tower that their aircraft had been hijacked. Since the uprising occurred during passenger boarding, only half the passengers, 168 exactly, had boarded. The 10 crew members bring it to a total of 178 hostages thought to be on board. Wow, 10 crew members. Yeah, it is a hockey mask, isn't it? Still, what they're wearing is not a ski mask. Some passengers seated near the hatch had succeeded in escaping. The following points were gained from questioning them. 1. Take care not to be seen by the hijackers. 2. There are 3 hijackers. All of them are covering their faces with ski masks that are not ski masks. 3. All of them are armed with what seem to be pistols. From the voices and builds, they appeared to be males. They all spoke fluent Japanese. Currently, the aircraft in question has moved to the front of the landing strip at the hijackers' insistence and stopped there. The authorities have attempted to negotiate with the hijackers by radio, but they have made no demands. The team member finishes his report. Actually, I guess maybe they are in hockey masks, because apparently the one which we saw, the PA officer, is not one of the hijackers, because I'm dumb.
There hasn't been a plane hijacked in this country in over 10 years. None of us, not even me, have dealt with this before.
I said this in the other Let's Play with Mitsuru, but 10 years does seem to come up an awful lot in Persona games.
Still, the procedure remains the same. Trust yourself, remember your training, and keep a cool head.
The captain turns towards the plane again. Taking that as a cue, the team scatters to their specified post to take up positions. And how exactly is Aigis in control? Because she hasn't done anything control-y yet. The only thing to do now is to see what happens. Eventually, 10 o'clock comes around. Half an hour has passed already, with no new developments. Repeated attempts to raise the hijackers have been made, but they have yet to make any demands. Tensions are beginning to rise. I guess Aigis must be, because whenever we saw this from Naoto's point of view, she acted immediately. But yeah, she ran away from the plane, so this is what's happening while Naoto's running around. The worst-case scenario is that they have no need to make demands, that their objective is to seize the passenger plane itself. In this case, the team would be facing a large-scale terrorist attack.
Come on, talk to us.
The captain mutters to himself, deep in thought. Show, don't tell game. From the perspective of rescuing the hostages, every second that passes without learning the hijacker's objective is a second wasted. The captain and his team can wait in hiding, but the same is not true for the passengers on board. For untrained civilians, extreme stress can lead to physical and mental problems. It's true not only for the hostages, but for the hijackers as well. When people lose their nerve, they tend to act rashly. The hostages will begin to lose hope, and the hijackers will begin taking it out on the hostages. An hour into the incident, anything could be happening inside the plane. The captain could do nothing but glare as time ticked by. This feels really awkward to do with all of you actually watching in real time. After 15 minutes have passed, a slight change in the situation was reported. Is this at 4:15? Or, I don't actually know when it started. All emails and calls going through the stations near the airport are being checked. The details of the messages thought to be from inside the plane are not confirmed. It appeared the hijackers had confiscated all cellular phones as per standard hijacking plans.
Sir, there's a report from HQ. They picked up a transmission from one of the passenger's cell phones. It's a smartphone with GPS, so they can tell it's inside the plane.
Confirm those details for me.
There are two possibilities. The hijackers are using a passenger's phone to contact associates outside, or a passenger is contacting someone in secret. The latter possibility is more likely. More and more devices have communication capabilities now, making it extremely difficult for hijackers to remove them entirely from play. And the more hostages involved, the more courageous they become, and more likely to take risks. Unfortunately, more hostages involved means it's all more dangerous to provoke the hijackers. Each individual hostage is worth less to them. The details of the transmission make it apparent that the situation is worse than the team assumed. Persona 5, as far as I know, is not slated for any time. It's supposed to be out, they're hoping, by around spring of 2013, but there is certainly no drilling down of that, and I'm pretty sure that Atlas works on the Blizzard schedule of, we'll release it when it's bloody done. The cell phone's owner is a man in his 60s in first class. Well, at least that used to be Blizzard's, the way they release games. Diablo 3, not so much. He signed up with a certain service for being diagnosed with heart illness. Oh, I spelled Aigis wrong up there, didn't I? Oops. Oh well. It's a remote EKG monitoring service that keeps track of the patient's heartbeat. A scheduled message was automatically sent from the patient's cell phone. The service provider promptly contacted the police, informing them that the man was in bad shape.
The man's life is at stake if we don't wrap this up within the hour. Looks like we can't stall for time.
As panic spreads, a proposal for negotiations based on this fact and a proposal to storm the plane are both considered. But because only half the passengers had boarded, the situation inside the plane is uncertain, making advising a tactical plan difficult. Though, if nothing is done, a passenger will surely succumb within the hour. Come on, Aigis, be a hero! A blunder like that must be avoided at all costs. That was the thinking that guided the police officials to make their decision. The same day at 10:30. Okay, so obviously it's not 4:30. I had 4 o'clock stuck on my brain.
This is a hijacking! What are you thinking withdrawing our people? Yes, I understand.
Wait, what's going on?
Orders are orders. We'll fall back at once. Get ready.
No one understands the sudden withdrawal order. Why withdraw the team during a hijacking? No one on the scene agreed with the decision, but the order could not be overturned. The men here are not the brain, but limbs whose power is, at best, put to use precisely following orders. Just then, another group approaches without a sound. Its members are dressed differently, in suits and trench coats, and all of them wear black with sunglasses. At a glance, it's clear... This entire time I've been reading this as though it was Aigis' script, whereas I don't even know whose this is, but obviously that's Aigis and the other members of the Shadow Operatives showing up. Man, this is the second time this game has done this to me, where I go through an entire scene thinking it's someone else. With nearly 20 of them gathered in one place, they're all imposing despite their silence. I'm not Aigis anymore, you see? They don't seem to be airport personnel, but neither are they known to the police. However, the captain senses the kindred spirit in them and approaches. His voice is laced with suspicion, but the man in black at the head of the group speaks dispassionately as if he'd heard nothing.
For the next half hour, we're in command of this scene.
You didn't answer the question. Who's responsible for this?
The captain's tone unconsciously hardens. A group of men in black parts? A group of men in black parts? And one of their number in the rear steps forward. The captain can't stop himself from furrowing his brow. He can already sense the unrest spreading amongst his team and watching in silence. One steps forward, looks like a 17 or 18-year-old girl. She's dressed in black and sunglasses like those around her, but her slender build is out of place. And I think she's Mitsuru Kuroji. Not only that, blonde hair. Okay, obviously that's not Mitsuru, that's Aigis. The girl walks a few more steps forward, removes her sunglasses. The captain had intended to appraise the look in her eyes, but only gasps at her crystalline blue eyes. He quickly regains himself and frowns at her.
You're the one in charge?
Yes.
Are you shitting me?
There is no time to waste quarreling.
The girl looks at him fearlessly, despite the armed team surrounding her. The unreality of it all is what helped the captain get over his surprise. Her age and appearance are most likely meaningless. She's clearly no ordinary girl.
Are you not even going to tell me who you're with?
I cannot.
So you expect me to hand over control of the scene to you without even telling me who the hell you are?
No, she commands you to hand over
I believe
control.
Orders to withdraw have already been issued.
Her calm, sweet voice only irritates him. The captain closes the distance with the girl. When he stops short of grabbing her suit, she glares at those blue eyes from only inches away.
I don't know what kind of juice you have with the brass, but are you ready to be responsible for the deaths of those passengers?
Your protests are doing nothing to relieve the danger. Rescuing them as soon as possible is my, or rather, our duty.
The girl's completely unruffled as she speaks. It's like she's a machine or something, the captain thinks. More dumbfounded. Who is talking? Man, I thought this was like another cop onlooker guy. Now, is this God?
Have faith in us. We too wish to save them.
For the first time, something like to terminate. Yeah, I don't know it's God, and I'm not even going to try a God voice. Terminate flickers through into those crystalline eyes. After looking into them, the captain finds something akin to resolve and confidence in them. He steps back. Raising the right hand to his chest, he shows the girl his watch.
But you got exactly 30 minutes and not a second more.
Understood.
After the girl nods, she gives instructions to prepare a stair car to the group she's leading. The captain's fists tighten nervously. Since there are few users for a stair car, quietly moving into place may make the hijackers think a strike team is getting ready to storm the plane. But there's no hesitation in the girl's actions.
Well then, move in as naturally as possible while staying in their blind spots.
Eventually, a roofless stair car advances slowly towards the
Closest
passenger
we
plane.
can get without them noticing will be about 10 meters from the plane.
That will be more than enough.
More than enough? What's the point of half-assing it like that? The captain's annoyance begins to turn into curiosity. If she's replacing the SAT team, she must have a plan beyond simple brute force, but...
Now, let's begin.
The stair car stops. The girl gets out of the driver's seat. Wait. Then why is someone else telling her that that's as close as they can get if she's the one driving it? Good lord. She walks slightly behind the vehicle, turns towards the passenger plane, and sits with one knee
What's
up.
she doing?
The captain brings a pair of binoculars to see her behavior more clearly. At first, he assumes she's going to get at the staircase movement as the decoy sends her team from a different direction. Actually, no, I misunderstood that question later. I do know about the optional boss in Persona 4 and New Game Plus and what she says, so I actually do know about that. Although, thank you for trying to protect me. But yeah, even though I haven't played all of New Game Plus yet, people told me enough about it that I looked it up because I was curious. and I wasn't really sure that I was going to play through the entire of Persona 4 again just to find out about one thing. Yeah, I know about why Elizabeth is here, although I haven't said anything about it because I'm waiting to get to Elizabeth's storyline. First, you assume she's going to use the staircase movement as a decoy to send her team in from a different direction. Like humans, most vehicles have significant blind spots above and underneath. Yet, that doesn't seem to be her plan. Is she planning to make her move while using the staircar shelter? Is she possibly going to snipe them? The captain discerns the possibility. It would be foolish to set up a sniper perch from a low angle of elevation where the girl is now. Well, the captain mulls the question over, the girl makes an unexpected move. She appears to lower her stance slightly one moment, and at the next she's no longer in sight. By the time the captain grasps that she's running, she's already reached the top of the stair. Her slender body launches like a cannonball from the top of the stairs.
What? She jumped?
Even the SAT member voiced their surprise. The girl's leap arcs over a distance of 10 meters. It's clearly beyond the abilities of a human being. Coming to the middle of her hijacking, the scene seems even more surreal. The girl lands on top of the aircraft and stands as if nothing unusual had happened. She looks at the aircraft beneath her and slowly turns her head to scan it from back to front. It reminds the captain of the movement of a sentry camera. He knows that should be impossible, but he wonders if she can see through the plane's ceiling. Eventually, the girl seems convinced that something and begins walking. When she reaches the boarding hatch in the front, she moves her right hand to her back. The captain notices that a special knife, coated in gray from blade to hilt, is in her hand.
What's she gonna do with that knife?
Well, Ajidine, it should save it. Hopefully. That's the plan, anyway. The girl suddenly lowers her stance and slides down to the side of the aircraft. Just as she's about to fall, she thrusts the knife into the jamb of the hatch and dangles from it.
That's just crazy.
She then uses her left hand to pull the handle and unlocks the hatch with ease. Once in the thick, airtight door juts out of the aircraft, the girl nimbly jumps onto the plane. The captain is shocked by her dauntless methods. He begins to wonder if she intends to defuse the situation on her own. The captain lowers the binoculars and faces the reality before him with his own eyes. Who in the world is she? He doubtless had the doubts he had dismissed rise within him again. A warning light goes off in the cramped cockpit. Two people in there notice it at once. One of them is the captain, sitting in the pilot's seat. The other is the man holding the gun to the back of the captain's head. The light is labeled Hatch Open. Even an amateur can understand what it means. The man suddenly tenses and stands ready at the passenger side door. He prepares himself for someone to charge through it, but he quickly regains himself and turns the gun back to the captain. The man casts irritated glances back and forth between the captain and the door for a while, but eventually approaches the door, his gun pointed at the captain. He cautiously cracks open the door and looks towards the passenger seating. Just outside the cockpit, first-class section. But the passengers were gathered in the economy class at the time of the hijacking. First class is empty. The man squints. To ward off observation, or worse, snipers, the windows were down. Coming into the darkened plane from beyond the bright cockpit forces his eyes to adjust. But from the corner of his eye, he sees a faint gleam of light shining that's unlike the regular light. And within the light is a silhouette. Before he can react, the silhouetted figure closes the distance. A hand grabs the edge of the door and opens it with tremendous force. Too quick, heavy shots are fired. But Aigis doesn't care. It was Aigis firing. Man collapses unconscious without a sound. Well, hopefully she didn't kill him. Good grief. Captain turns around surprised to see the intruder, a blonde girl with an index finger to her lips to signal silence. I'm guessing this must be God talking, because there's no way this can still be the, captain guy. She first lays the man to the ground, then removes the pistol in his hand. On closer inspection, it is only a model gun, supplemented with metal parts. The seam between the parts is in a different place compared to the real gun. Taken apart, the assembled parts would look nothing like a real pistol. The girl then takes handcuffs from a small pouch on her waist and fastens the man's arms to the seat leg near the window. So that's probably how they got on the plane, because they had to get through security. So it's probably not actual metal or something that won't set off a metal detector, and it can just be assembled to look like a rough approximation of a gun. Even if he wakes up, he'll be unable to stand. Though the captain still looks as if he wishes to say something, the girl's eyes meet and insist on silence as she leaves. The curtain dividing first class and economy class is closed. The girl hides herself behind it and peeks through. There's a man in each of the aisles to the left and right. Neither seem to have noticed her. The passenger and cabin crews are crammed into seats in the back. And how did Aigis shoot the guy twice without someone at the other end of like first class section behind a curtain? Unless maybe on the other side of the plane, that might make more sense. Everyone's placement matches the readings from heat sensors she picked up from above the plane. Both remaining hijackers are closer to first class. Nope. The man closest to her is only a few steps away. She judges that he can easily be disabled before reacting if she moves quickly. They both carry pistols, but they are the same type of the downed hijackers. For what she can see, these two are mere model guns. The girl swiftly pushes aside the curtains and grabs the closer man's right wrist. The hijacker is caught off guard from the sudden appearance of such a slender girl, and stops moving for a moment. In that moment, he surrenders any chance of victory he may have had. With a pain cry, he drops the pistol to the ground. The girl uses her grip on her right hand to pull him off to the ground, and smoothly pulls out another pair of handcuffs and locks his arms to the passenger seats. The man thrashes about, but despite his struggle, he's no better than a worm rotted on the ground. The last hijacker finally recovers from his shock and aims his gun. The girl pulls a button from the man's other sleeve and flicks it towards her opponent's face. The button travels at immense speed, though is only fired from her fingers. The man tries to shield his face, but it's too late, and he groans in pain when the projectile impacts his forehead. The girl does not let the opportunity pass. She easily jumps over the 3-seat wide center block of seats with one arm and grabs the man's right hand. There, she repeats the same procedure she used before. The weapons are immediately seized and they are strained on the floor. The passengers are only grasping what's happened before their eyes. A murmuring chorus rises.
Do not be alarmed. I have come to rescue you. Your safety has not been secured yet, so please stay calm and remain in your seats.
The passengers erupt in a cheer. There is sporadic applause as well, but there is slightly hysterical tinge to it as it reacts to the tension of the situation.
We were told someone requires medical assistance for their chronic heart illness. His name is...
Just as the girl approaches the center of the plane, she senses a male passenger stand up from his seat. He's extremely calm and quiet as he does so. The girl belatedly picks up on the incongruity. All of the other passengers are nervous. It is then that she feels something hard pressing against the back of her head. She knows without looking that it's the muzzle of a gun. The nearby passenger's cry of release suddenly turns on the screams.
I am impressed with your judgment to stay hidden until an opportunity arose.
The girl is unperturbed as she continues to look straight ahead. The man stays silent and keeps the pistol pressed to her head. She knows there is no danger of being shot, but she is not yet sure that he was the only one in hiding. But with no other choice, the girl accedes to his demands and moves forward. And after about 10 steps, another man stands up, as expected.
And you too.
The man doesn't answer. He slowly approaches from the front. The girl is now sandwiched from the front and back. At that moment, footsteps sound from beyond the curtain leading into first class. The two culprits both react at once, but it is too late. Over 10 men in black rush in at once from beyond the curtain. While the girl had drawn the hijacker's attention with the scuffle, a stair car closed in. First, they pin down the man standing in front. The narrow passage gives the man behind her a short reprieve, but it doesn't last long. The moment he lowers his hand gripping the pistol in order to escape, the girl grabbed his wrist. So focused was he on the men who rushed to the scene, he'd forgotten about the threat the girl posed. He is immediately tripped and restrained once he falls to his back. The girl stands up and looks around. If there were any more hijackers inside the plane, this would be their last chance to make a stand. But no one rises from their seat. She glances towards the men in black, and they nod back in acknowledgement. It seems the crisis has been averted. The girl carefully keeps her thoughts from appearing on her face as she gives an inner sigh of relief. Soon afterward, the sweeper team gives a report confirming that the aircraft is secure. The girl works with the cabin crew to arrange transport for the man with the heart illness before she steps out for a moment. She turns on the blue indicator light from the stair car and waves it in a circle towards the SAT's position. It is the signal that the crisis is over.
Already?
On the receiving side, the SAT team on standby starts talking amongst themselves.
It hasn't even been 5 minutes. There should have been at least 3 hijackers.
You know what they remind me of? Is those guys. Like Men in Black or something.
Captain, who are those people? Is that one even human?
The captain sighs with reluctance.
This is just a rumor. But I've heard that the higher-ups formed an unofficial security group in conjunction with a certain corporation. It's supposedly for cases that are a little strange. I hear they have some official standing with the police, too. Though it's all some private enterprise, so technically, there's no authority involved at all.
What? But this is Japan we're talking about.
A search and destroy unit that answers to no department and keeps no records. I've heard...
Oops. He turns his own blue light as a sign of understanding and waves it to the left and right. The response light comes from up ahead. The girl then sees the captain spreading his arms in a shrug and smiles for the first time. She feels slightly bad for them. Her team may have shamed them, though they had done nothing wrong. I should apologize to them later. But then, in the corner of the girl's eye, near the entrance to the luggage car at this corner of the building, a figure catches her attention.
A girl?
Whoa! Is that Fuka? No? Who is that? The girl seems to be at her age and wearing a plain cape-like dress. The girl in the aircraft feels oddly uneasy seeing the figure. Who is that? To begin with, the heightened security, the parking entrance should be strictly sealed, but this figure looks perfectly ordinary.
May I check on something?
The girl calls the SAT captain over the radio. There appears to be some slight interference, necessitating an adjustment of the dial.
What is it?
If you look towards my left, in front of the luggage loading bay is...
But during the moment she looked away, the figure
She's
has
not
disappeared.
there. That can't be.
The girl looks around, but the figure is nowhere to be seen. Where could she have gone in open space with nowhere to hide?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was apparently seeing things.
The girl shuts the radio off. Who was that just now? Was I truly seeing things? Oh wait, that was Aigis. Oops. With those questions in mind, the girl tries to remember the figure's appearance in detail. Only then does she realize the cause of her unease. That light blue dress figure wore is very similar to the one she herself had once. It reminds her of those days when she did not have a heart.